Sometimes, I don't even think about her. Like seriously, hours pass, sometimes even a whole day, and my mind feels normal again. I laugh at random reels. I talk to people. I stay busy. And for a moment I start believing, maybe I'm finally moving on. But then, I wake up and somehow, she's the first thing on my mind again. Before I even touch my phone, before I even fully open my eyes. It's just her. And the worst part is, nothing even triggers it. No text. No photo. No song. Her memory just appears out of nowhere, like my mind secretly refuses to let her go. And then the entire day feels heavy. Because once I start thinking about her, I can't stop. I start remembering the smallest things, the late night chats that felt too short even after hours of talking. The way my mood instantly changed when her notification popped up. The random conversations that made absolutely no sense, but somehow meant everything to me. And those butterflies, God, those butterflies were different. That feeling when you see their name on your screen and suddenly your heart starts acting weird. The way one simple good night could fix your entire day. People act like memories are harmless, but they're not. Because memories don't just remind you of a person, they remind you of how you felt with them. And maybe that's what hurts the most. Not just missing her, but missing the version of me that existed when she was around. Because back then, everything felt lighter. Even boring nights felt special. Even silence felt comforting. Now, sometimes I just stare at the ceiling replaying moments that don't even exist anymore, wondering if she ever thinks about me too. Wondering if those moments meant as much to her as they did to me. But deep down, I already know there's nothing I can really do. I can't force someone to come back. I can't force old feelings to return. And honestly, that's the hardest part to accept. So instead, I just sit with the memories. The laughs. The late night talks. The attachment. The overthinking. The hope. All of it. And I know, if you're watching this right now, there's a high chance you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Because people only talk about heartbreak like it's one big dramatic moment. But nobody talks about this part. The random missing. The unexpected silence. The way someone can leave your life, but still live inside your thoughts every single day. And you know what's crazy? Sometimes I don't even miss our relationship. I miss the routine of her. I miss checking my phone hoping she texted first. I miss telling her small things that didn't matter to anyone else. I miss having someone who knew my mood just from the way I type. That kind of connection is hard to replace. And maybe that's why healing feels so confusing. Because one day you feel okay. And the next day, one memory hits you and suddenly everything comes back again. A song, a time, a late night, a specific word, and boom, now you're sitting there, thinking about someone who probably has no idea you're thinking about them. I hate how memories work like that, especially at night. Because nights make everything louder. The overthinking gets louder. The loneliness gets louder. And somehow, their absence feels louder too. You start replaying conversations in your head, thinking about things you should have said differently. Thinking about moments you wish lasted longer. And sometimes, I wonder if moving on actually means forgetting someone, or if it just means learning how to live without them. Because the truth is, some people leave fingerprints on your mind. Even after they're gone, you still remember their favorite song. Their typing style, the way they used to talk when they were tired, the little details nobody else notices. And no matter how much time passes, those things stay. But maybe that's what happens when someone once meant everything to you. You don't just erase them overnight. And honestly, I think the hardest feeling is realizing you can miss someone and still know they're not coming back. That's a different type of pain. Because there's no solution for it. No perfect message. No magical closure. No right timing. Just memories. And you. And eventually, you get tired of explaining it to people. Because from the outside, it probably looks stupid. It's just one person. Just move on. There are so many other people. But they don't understand. It was never just a person. It was the attachment. The comfort. The feeling of finally finding someone who made life feel less empty. That's what's hard to replace. And maybe that's why some nights still hurt more than others. You could be completely fine the whole day. Then suddenly it hits at 2 a.m. You start scrolling through old chats you promised yourself you wouldn't read again, looking at old photos for just 1 second, replaying voice notes like they still mean something, knowing it hurts, but still doing it anyway, because a small part of you still misses how things used to be. And honestly, I think what hurts the most is how normal everything became before it ended. Talking every day became normal. Caring became normal. Their presence became normal. So when they leave, your mind keeps expecting them to still be there. That's why healing feels slow. You're not just losing a person, you're losing a habit, a safe place, a version of your daily life. And nobody prepares you for how empty that feels. Sometimes I catch myself wanting to text her about something random. Then I remember we don't talk anymore. That realization never gets easier. It's like your brain takes time to accept what your heart already knows. And maybe you relate to this. Maybe there's someone you pretend you're over, but deep down, you still think about them more than you admit. Maybe you still check their profiles sometimes. Maybe certain songs still remind you of them. Maybe a part of you is still waiting for a message that's probably never coming. And if that's true, I just want you to know you're not the only one feeling this way, because some connections stay with you longer than expected. Not because you're weak. Not because you can't move on, but because at one point they genuinely mattered to you. And the scary part is, sometimes you don't even realize how attached you got until they're gone. While they were there, it all felt natural. The conversations, the attention, the little moments. You never think about losing it while it's happening. But once it ends, your mind suddenly turns every memory into something priceless. And now even the smallest things feel important. The way they laughed at dumb jokes. The random take care text. The moments where both of you stayed awake for no reason except talking to each other. Back then, it felt normal. Now it feels irreplaceable. And maybe that's why people struggle to let go. Not because they're obsessed, but because they know how rare it is to feel that connected to someone. These days, everyone talks to everyone. People replace people so fast. Conversations become temporary. But when you find someone who actually feels different, your heart remembers that, even after they leave. And sometimes I wonder, does she remember me too? Does she ever randomly think about our conversations? Does my name ever cross her mind at night the same way hers crosses mine? Or was I just another phase in her life, while she became a whole chapter in mine? That thought hurts more than I admit. Because no matter how much I try to distract myself, some part of me still hopes. Not even for a relationship anymore. Just one more conversation. One more late night talk. One more moment where everything feels the way it used to. But life doesn't always give closure like that. Sometimes people become memories before you're ready. And all you can really do is carry those memories quietly. You learn how to smile again. How to stay busy again. How to look okay again. But deep inside, there are still moments where you miss them more than anyone knows. And if you've been feeling this too, if there's someone living in your head long after they left, then maybe this video found you for a reason. Because deep down, I think a lot of us are pretending we're okay. We post normally. We laugh normally. We reply I'm fine like it's automatic. But there are still nights where one memory can ruin everything. One old screenshot. One familiar song. One dream about them. And suddenly all the healing feels fake again. That's the part nobody prepares you for. Healing isn't straight. You don't wake up one day completely over someone. It happens in weird stages. First you stop texting them. Then you stop checking their profile every hour. Then slowly, You stop expecting them to come back, but missing them. Sometimes that stays longer than you want. And I think people misunderstand what moving on actually means. Moving on doesn't always mean you stopped caring. Sometimes it just means you accepted that things will never be the same again. That's all. Because if someone once meant everything to you, of course a part of you will still remember them. You can't share that much emotion with a person and erase it like nothing happened. And honestly, maybe that's why certain people change us forever. Not because they stayed, but because of what they taught us while they were here. They taught us how attachment feels. How comfort feels. How painful silence can become after constant attention. And maybe they also taught us something else, that not every connection is meant to last forever. Some people enter your life just to become a memory you carry for years. A painful memory sometimes, a beautiful one to. And maybe one day, we'll think about them without feeling this heaviness in our chest. Maybe one day, their name will feel normal again. Maybe one day, the memories will stop hurting and only make us smile. But until then, there will still be nights like this. Nights where you miss someone and even talk to any more. And if you're listening to this while thinking about that one person, I hope you know something. The fact that you cared this deeply, that's rare. In a world where most people fake feelings and leave easily, having a heart that genuinely loved someone is not weakness, even if it hurt you in the end. And maybe that's why it's so hard to hate them completely, because no matter how painful the ending was, there were still moments that felt real, moments where you genuinely believed they'd stay. And honestly, those memories are probably the reason you still think about them now. Not every memory hurts immediately. Sometimes they start as comfort. You remember the way they used to talk to you when you were having a bad day, the way they made ordinary moments feel important, the feeling of being understood without explaining too much. That kind of connection stays in your mind, especially when life starts feeling empty again. Because once you experience a person who made you feel emotionally safe, everyone else starts feeling temporary. And maybe that sounds dramatic. But if you've ever had someone become part of your everyday life, you know exactly what I mean. You get attached to their presence. To the consistency. To the feeling of always having someone there. Then one day, it's gone. No warning strong enough. No explanation that actually fixes the pain. Just silence. And silence is dangerous. Sometimes. Because silence gives your mind too much space to think. You start wondering where things changed. If they ever cared as deeply as you did. If there was something you could have done differently. And the worst part, you'll probably never get all the answers. Some people leave without explaining properly. Some feelings fade without closure. Some stories end in the middle of a sentence. That's real life. And I know that truth hurts. Especially when your heart still wants the old version of everything back. But maybe holding on to memories is our brain's way of refusing to accept that certain moments are over. Because if we let go completely, it almost feels like those moments never happened at all. So instead, we replay them. Again and again. The late night calls, the inside jokes. The little I miss you texts. The feeling of waiting for their reply was the best part of your day. All those small things become huge after someone leaves. And maybe right now, you're thinking about someone while hearing this. Someone you don't talk to anymore, but still carry in your heart quietly every single day. And maybe that's what makes people so unforgettable. Not the big moments, not the dramatic endings, but the small things, the random conversations, the late night comforts, the feeling of being important to someone for a little while. Those are the memories that stay. And maybe we keep missing them because a part of us still misses how life felt back then. Simpler. Warmer. Less lonely. But life keeps moving, even when our heart wants to stay in old memories. And slowly, even if it takes months or years, we learn how to carry the pain without letting it control us. We learn how to smile again without forcing it. How to enjoy moments again without comparing everything to the past. And maybe one day, their name won't hurt anymore. Maybe one day, you'll think about them and feel peace instead of emptiness. Not because they stopped mattering, but because you finally stopped blaming yourself for losing them. So if you're listening to this right now, while thinking about someone you can't forget, I just want you to remember this. Some people are lessons, some people are memories, and some people feel like home, even after they leave. But no matter how deeply someone hurt you, don't let that stop you from caring again one day. Because the ability to love deeply is never something to be ashamed of. And maybe right now, it feels like nobody understands what's going on inside your head. But trust me, there are thousands of people awake at night feeling the exact same emptiness you are. Missing someone they can't talk to anymore. Thinking about moments that only exist in memories. Now, trying to move on while a part of their heart still looks back. So if that person is still on your mind tonight, maybe instead of asking why they left, ask yourself why you're still forgetting your own worth because of it. Because at the end of the day, the people who leave are memories, but you still have a whole life ahead of you.